Please enjoy this feature presentation of the Crooked River Radio Network. This program is rated for all audiences.
Four Guys on Sports is sponsored by CrookedRiverRadio.com. Crooked River Radio is an internet radio station that is live 24/7 playing top 40 hits from the 60s through the 80s. You can find us on Live 365, Simple Radio, Roku, Radio Garden, and even Alexa, as well as our website. Come on and join us on the Crooked River.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Back at you.
Good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
And welcome back.
Yeah, man. Good to be back.
Been a long couple of weeks.
Oh, yeah. Yes, sir.
For sure.
Yes, sir. Us here in Texas, of course, we were iced over down here.
Iced over and tragedies.
And then, of course, all the personal issues that have happened. So, yeah, been a long couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've had, the Martin Luther King storm, we had 17 or 14 inches of snow in my driveway. And then this past Thursday and Friday, we had another 12 to that. And then everybody decided to go ice fishing. You been hearing anything about the ice fishing in Hudson?
I heard something about it.
Yeah, I guess since it's kind of sports related, we will mention something about this. But the mayor of Hudson took it upon himself to go to a city council meeting and equate fishing shanties to prostitution. He said that if they allow fishing shanties, then that's going to lead to prostitution.
Well, no, he said if they allow fishing, it's going to lead to shanties, then it's going to lead to prostitution.
But I don't understand how all that got to do with what's got to do with the price of beans, man. I'm confused.
Gordon, I'm telling you what, it's as he was sitting in that council meeting, I've watched this clip about 15 times now. As the words prostitution came out of his mouth, there was a guy on his right side that went, "What?"
That's funny. That's funny. That's bizarre to say the least, but it's also funny. Oh man.
That's different. That's real different.
If you guys get a chance, just all you got to do is take and Google Hudson Mayor ice fishing, and it'll turn up the clip for him.
Okay.
There's about a 2 or 3 minute clip there that is just, every time I watch it, I laugh at it. And needless to say, the next show I do as far as radioactive goes, that's going to be one of the lead topics.
Well,
yeah.
But on the other hand, Hudson's decided to allow fishing on all its lakes.
Hey man, he put Hudson, Ohio had their claim to fame, had their moment in the sun or in the spotlight anyway.
The thing of it is, this mayor that's there is not to be completely off the sports topics, but this mayor is just off the wall. There was a book that was a college book that they were using in these in the 11th or 12th grade classes, and what they were doing with it was they were using certain clips of, but it was a college book, and it was a little on the sexually oriented side. You know, there was good and bad both in it, and he went into the city council meeting and demanded all the school board members quit or resign, or he was going to have them arrested for promoting pornography. He's just got this in his head. Who knows where this guy's head's at? I think it's up his rear end, but or
Yeah,
somebody's rear end.
Absolutely not on the shoulders. Sound like he's gonna need a Listerine Slurpee.
Yeah, that's about it.
But the thing is, with that book, that class, it was a college prep class, so it was provided by Hiram College, but it was a college prep class. But yeah, some of the stuff, the prompts in that book were very
Questionable.
questionable. Yeah.
Anyway, welcome everybody. We are going to get on the sports topic now. I'd like to welcome back our crew, the Shawn and Gordon and Nate, and welcome Eric, who is on one of the other, two of the other shows with me. Welcome back, everybody. Nice to have you all back.
What were you gonna say, Gordon?
I'll just say good to be back. Good to be back. I'm gonna leave it at that.
I guess the first big elephant in the room today is the old Super Bowl, or the big game, as we should refer to it, because we'll get sued otherwise. But I'm gonna make a statement here so that everybody knows where I'm at, and that is.
Boy would say it'd be Joe Burrow versus OGB.
Well, I kind of predicted that a couple weeks ago, if you remember.
Yeah.
But I think
just messing with me.
I think what's gonna happen. I'm gonna stick with my West Coast team thing. I'd love to see Cincinnati win this, honestly. But when it comes down to how I know Ohio teams have issues with West Coast, I hate to say it, but I'm going to have to pick the Rams.
But the thing with that is they've had time to adjust, where they usually fly out the day before a game for a regular season game. They've been out there for a week and a half. So they've had time to adjust to the time difference, where in a usual week they don't.
Well, the thing of it is, though, it's still East Coast against West Coast. And my findings on this is about 7 out of 10. The West Coast almost always wins.
So would you be surprised if Cincy won?
I would be completely pleased. Either team's going to be all right with me.
Yeah.
I like the Rams. I don't care for Odell Beckham because he still don't know where the hell he's at. But
he's playing good. Not to know where he is.
You know what? I will say this. Will I be surprised? I'm surprised that since he's there. I'm surprised I'm surprised that the Rams actually got there, but I'm really surprised that since he's there anyway. So, and then it really not having a dog in the fight, and I can really, really look at this objectively. And looking at it just from top to bottom, my thing is that I think the Rams are a more rounded team. You know, they're more complete.
When you look at that, you look at the Cooper Cup, you look at the wide receivers that they've got as far as the other ones. That running back that they've got is pretty decent. Just all in all, I think power-wise, I think they outpower the Bengals. The thing that bothers me here, and the reason that I would probably pick the Rams over the Bengals, is the fact that in that last game that Burrow played, he got sacked 9 times. It was a league record for playoffs.
Well,
Tennessee.
Yeah.
And when you get sacked that many times, I don't know.
Yeah, it was 9 times and still won a playoff game. That's never been done.
Which says something.
You know, I just think, again, this is a more physical team. The defense is better. Again, I think it's Rams defense is better, and you got to consider who they beat. Of course, he didn't have all his weapons. He's missing offensive linemen, which I didn't think that they would win. And then the San Francisco team again was a very physical team, and they got them. And so I'm just thinking that Rams are I just think they're a better team all around. If I had to pick a quarterback, yes, I'd pick Burrow. But at this point, even though, he's still young, he's still growing in this. But I just think that the best team is going to win. And I think the best team is the Rams.
Yeah.
They're complete. It's not going to be. And I'm thinking that I don't know if one player is going to really outshine the other on this Rams team. It's going to be a win by committee. They're going to, they're going to rough up Burrow. They're going to get after it. And since he can't run that ball, it's going to be a long day for Burrow. He's not playing that shaky KC defense.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you the truth. That KC game, I thought KC is the one that blew that.
They did.
The Bengals didn't really win that game. That flipping KC gave it to them. Some of the mistakes in the last part of that game, especially on the side of that quarterback, were.
Well, that and the coach, right there at the half, they left points on the field. They didn't even get a field goal out of it. Yeah. I think that KC blew the game. I clearly think that was their game to win. And Cincy is that team that, okay, you keep letting me hang around. You should have put me away because you don't, bruh.
Well, the one thing
down and you don't knock me out, I'm getting back up.
If Cincinnati wins, there will be something hanging over their head, as far as I'm concerned, and that's the fact that the Browns beat them twice. I don't care about the last game of the season. It was still a game, and they still beat them.
I don't.
I don't think Cincinnati's got nothing coming from the Browns.
I don't think that Lord have mercy. The Browns are just, the Browns, man, are they're a train wreck, accident waiting to happen. I have nothing good to say about a team that is that loaded. I don't even understand the mistake that people don't see in the Browns.
Well, the thing of it is, Nate. The thing of it is, they've got more coming. That's the bad part. They're talking about making a trade with the Packers for Aaron. And
I don't even know.
I would say that the chances of that happening are probably 30 or 40%. With all the rumors, he's been spotted in Columbus.
Well, Columbus is not a bad place.
True story. He's been spotted. Well, Columbus is where the Browns are. And the Browns are probably going to be looking for a quarterback. Now, mind you, the thing of it is, Baker's got $18 million coming too this year. And are they going to let him have that money? Or are they going to trade his ass off? Personally, and I didn't think I'd ever say this about Mayfield, but I think it'd almost be better if they did trade him. I want to see.
You've been saying that for months now?
I would like to see him keep Stefanski another year or so to see if it pans out. But right now, Cleveland's in need of a quarterback because this guy really ain't proven nothing.
I'd like to see the Browns tank the season and
not another tank.
Hold on.
No.
And
I don't want another
get the
tank.
number one pick, draft a good quarterback, and see how he could develop a quarterback because he's never had a chance to develop a quarterback. Can he do it? Can he not? Prove himself that way.
Right now, in the top two quarterbacks coming out next year are Alabama's Bryce Young and Ohio State's C.J. Stroud.
CJ Stroud.
Okay. Now,
And right now, I would probably go Stroud because of his size.
okay, I'm gonna say this. Just piggyback on what Eric just said. When you start thinking about a quarterback this year, where would Cleveland be picking in the draft versus picking up a quarterback? So first off, but I think that they definitely should be contacting the Aaron Rodgers, the Russell Wilsons, and what's his name from left Tennessee?
Tannehill.
No, not really Tennessee, but what's his name? Not Lamar Jack.
The other rumor I seen
Deshaun
around
Watson?
on the internet was
Oh,
Kyler
Watson.
Murray.
Kyler Murray.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear he's wanting. There's some stink going on with him. But
Not
my
to
thing
mention
is
Jimmy
this, what they
Garoppolo.
should be doing, yeah, they should be contacting some of these available quarterbacks out there too, and then let them know that, hey, look, Baker, even if they trying not to have to eat some money, they can say, hey, look here, dude, you got to play for your spot. If you don't win your spot, bro, yes, you out.
But I mean, some of these guys are still under contract, like Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, and Russell Wilson. If their teams are asking too much, well, and Aaron Rodgers, if their teams are asking too much, the Browns aren't going to make those trades, even though maybe they should. They're not going to because they don't want to give up a ton.
Right. They shouldn't want to give up a ton. But I'm thinking that the best thing, even though I don't necessarily, I'm not sold on Garoppolo. I mean, I'm not sold, man. But I will say this: he's an upgrade over Baker by far, and he may be the most available and the easiest quarterback to get when it's all said and done because I think he realizes his career is done as a starter. He's done. This was his last opportunity to get it done, and they can say all the good things and nice things. They didn't draft that quarterback. They drafted to have him just continue to sit there. When, to be quite frankly, man, 49ers don't have a real excuse, not a good excuse for not making it to the Super Bowl. So I think he's and when he went to the Super Bowl, he blew the game. So I don't think that he's going to be there. I think that would be Cleveland's best chance, even though, yeah, obviously Aaron Rodgers would be a far better choice. But look what you got to give up, particularly.
Not
get
only
Aaron.
look what you got to give up, but look at how old our Aaron Rodgers is, and the
Yeah,
change.
but
You
keep in
you might
mind,
have him for 2 or 3 years, and that's going to be about it.
yeah, but they don't care. I mean, how you got to look at a Super Bowl lasts a long time. You get a Super Bowl win, you can go ahead and suck for several years after that.
Well, no,
So,
this is
but
what you
they're,
guys
but they're
miss. When you looking around, and it's just like what the Rams did. They were in a win now mode,
right.
and that's the reason why they made it where they made it. And um, I to be honest with you, I don't, I really don't, or I really believe that Frisco wasn't, you know, they weren't that good. They're not that good. They were a very physical team.
Yes, they were.
They're very, very physical. But they're just better teams out there. And but in saying this, yeah, okay, a Super Bowl, you win a Super Bowl, but in sports, kind of disagree with you on this, Nate, because it's all about what have you done for me lately.
Yeah, but that Super Bowl, it holds you for a long time. I mean, and that's the whole thing of this win now mentality, because teams know if I can win this Super Bowl, and so if I'm sucking, thereafter, and just like think about, when the Ravens won this last Super Bowl that they won, and then afterwards, man, they gave quarterback a bunch of money, man, and then they just everything that really won the game for him, the ones that made those awful passes look good, man, they wouldn't even give him the money, man. They let them all go, man. So they wound up looking awful for several years later. Of course, to my glee, of course, because I'm not a Ravens fan. But yeah, they just, they win that thing, they'll
Well,
be good to go. I mean, there's exceptions. Tom Brady and New England Patriots, they were they're iconic for a lot of reasons. What they done was really special, in terms of being able to have that sustained excellence for such a long time. And then Tom Brady as an individual, just being able to play at a high level for a long time, that was, he was able to go over to Tampa Bay and continue to win, and that was great, but that really isn't, that's not, I don't think we're going to see that a lot. Even if hypothetically speaking here, if Burrow is able to pull it off this year, I don't I don't see, it was just, this was the year for Cincy. It worked out for them. And I don't see where Cincy is like, okay, well, they're going to be coming now. They got here now and they're going to be coming. I don't think that they're a team that, is going to have to be reckoned with in the future like that. I think that they'll still be a good team because they've shown that they have a great quarterback and obviously a good system, um, because they've been able to win in spite of the fact that they have a terrible O-line, in spite of the fact that they can't run the ball, in spite of the fact that their defense just isn't shut down defense. It's pretty good, and it has shown that it can step up in high leverage, big time moments. But it isn't just like what we would say defense, defensive monsters. We don't think about Cincinnati.
well, okay.
So
But when you say that, you think about this. Okay, Philly won a Super Bowl. All right, Philly's now no longer relevant, man. Philly's, they were in the toilet, man.
right.
So in that, yeah, it's a win now, and I think that, yeah, if Cleveland could get Aaron Rodgers and not give up a bunch and get to that point where they can win now, I'd say go for it. You pull this you flip the switch on that, and if in 2 years you're a bottom feeder again, then it's time to reload. Um, because the name of the game is, each year football is really almost, it's Super Bowl or bust, really. Because if you go to the um, you lose Super Bowl, you just the runner up. Hey man, you the biggest loser, so to speak. Now in that, when I say that, okay, you showing that you can go back and say, hey guys, we was close, or this or that, and you could have went this way or that way, and
You're the
but
number one loser in the league. Yeah.
one lose.
But
Yeah.
you use the example of Philly there, Gordon. Things really had to fall in the right place because they lost Carson Wentz in the first round of the playoffs, I believe. So Nick Foles won them that Super Bowl.
Right.
And also it had to do a lot with coaching, which kind of throws into a quick question. What do you guys think about Doug Peterson going to Jacksonville? Do you think he's going to succeed and help Lawrence develop?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I think, man, that is such an uphill battle.
Mhm.
And you know, this is sad. What it is to me, it's a shame for Trevor Lawrence because, man, that kid he's something special. And
Hmm.
of course, when you come out and you want a top pick, especially as a quarterback, the team you're going to is a bad team.
Uh-huh.
You know, you're going to a bad team. If you're a number one pick, whatever position you are, or top pick, you know, um, where you going? you're going to a bad team.
Yep.
Mhm.
And that is the usual expectation. But I tell you, Joe Burrow, man, he has changed the narrative. I mean, remember now, Burrow initially he was very objectionable in terms of going to Cincinnati. Remember, he was objecting like, "Hey, I'm not going there. I don't want to go there." So it wasn't like, "Hey, I got picked by Cincinnati," and whatever. No, he was outspoken about the fact that he did not want to go there. And to think that this guy can go there, buy into things, man, and get it done, it's amazing to me because it's like what it makes me think of is that I'm a liken it to the NBA in this regard. LeBron James goes to Cleveland, an awful team drags these stiffs to the NBA finals. Okay.
And what, like
So
his
now we
third
have,
year?
yeah, now we have Joe Burrow in his second year, drags these stiffs to, to the Super Bowl. And sometimes, we can get caught up in the moment and say, since he's a man, they're balling, they're playing good. But we got to put this thing back into perspective.
Uh-huh.
Joe Burrow's balling and playing good. Chase is balling and playing good. Okay.
That other receiver.
So
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins, man, that boy there.
yeah, looking pretty good too. But so people are doing whatever. But will Cincinnati be really a gang of stiffs in the Super Bowl and they get revealed like Cleveland got revealed when we say Cleveland, talking about the Cavs in the NBA finals when they came up against San Antonio Spurs, when
But
everybody was thinking, man, Cleveland is balling. Man, they got look at their record. They're leading the East. They're doing this, that, and the other. And they really didn't have it. And so if we step away and try not to look at this thing from a biased position because we kind of can't help but kind of like the fact that it's Ohio team, Ohio kid, and really look at this thing for what it is and say, man, this could this be a slaughter, or is Joe Burrow and company just really more special than we think?
I'm gonna say this. Okay, couple things because of this right here. It's a little bit different because, well, the thing of it is about this is take him serious because the AFC. If you start looking at all these quarterbacks, these young quarterbacks in the AFC, these boys, you start naming them bad boys. Mahomes, Josh Allen. And matter of fact, you hadn't been paying no attention to Josh Allen. We was trying to tell y'all that me and Shawn have been on the Buffalo wagon all along. Um, um, uh, um, uh, Now your boy Justin Herbert. Uh, um, just
Just to name a few.
That's just a few. And you got, of course, you got old boy up there in Baltimore who is,
Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, Lamar Jackson. I mean,
Baltimore got two good quarterbacks.
take them serious because of this right here, man. The best quarterbacks are in the AFC.
Mhm.
The top quarterbacks. You got Aaron Rodgers in the NFC. You got Russell Wilson, and after that, you got some okay quarterbacks. I'm not saying these guys aren't, but they just have the best, latest, and greatest, and most upcoming is the FC. And so yeah, take them serious from that standpoint. Now, just as an overall team, don't get me wrong, they're not a bad team. The defense isn't bad. They're not great, but I think that they are definitely a team to look at. And what you're gonna see is this: they're gonna get some offensive. They're gonna get an offensive line around Cincy for next year.
Mhm.
Hey, don't be surprised though, but I looked at the Browns were down at that Senior Bowl or whatever. And
Yeah.
one of the players that they were looking at, I guess, was that Malik Willis out of Liberty, the quarterback.
And
Yeah. So something I had brought up Thursday and was just thinking of, So connection the Browns have to have to Cincy, and since that connection went from Cincy to the Browns, Cincy's been actually better. Browns offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt used to be the offensive coordinator over in Cincy. He left. They started playing well. Then Burrow got hurt. They obviously went down last year, but that's because they didn't have a quarterback. Well, he all of a sudden um, has sucked in the 2 games that he uh, has called plays here, and look where Cincy is without him. Do you think that has a connection there of him leaving and them becoming better, showing that he's not a great offensive coordinator?
I don't know.
I don't know.
About that. I think overall, when I just look at Cleveland, I just look at dysfunction because they had a really great team. Now, unlike my brother, I don't think they had the best receiving core in the world. Let him tell it, because he happens to still think that Odell Beckham was one of the best wide receivers of all time. I strongly disagree. I could name about 8 or 9 reasons above him, but and then we found out what he was right about. One thing, Baker isn't what we thought he was.
And now Jarvis, what he came in on that press conference with Odell.
Oh,
That was so weird. Like, I get they're close friends, but some of the stuff that he said about, being a better lover and stuff, what is he talking about? Did you hear that?
I didn't hear that. Being better
Yeah.
lover.
Yeah. I'm like, what are you talking about, Odell? That Jarvis made him a better lover or something? I'm like, what? Yeah.
Is he talking about lover of the game, maybe?
He didn't
I think
specify.
there's more to it, though.
I would hope that's what he
I think
means,
it's more
Nate.
to it than meets the eye, but
That's really different.
I didn't see it, but this is just going in a different way.
Oh my God, man! Yeah,
That's funny.
different. That's real
That's
different.
I can't speak on it, man. I didn't see it. I don't know.
You gotta look it up and listen for yourself because it is so weird and can be easily taken out of context.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah, that's a little weird there, man. But, those LA people was a little eccentric anyway, so I don't know. He up there.
Maybe that's why Beckham wanted to go there.
God, yeah, Oh my goodness, man. But yeah,
they always said that the NFL they wanted the NFL to be diverse.
Look.
All right, let's get some diversity in talk.
Yeah, let's go.
And talk some NBA. With the trades this week.
Oh my God!
And how bad your Nets are doing there, buddy.
Oh, they're faking and tanking, man. They were trying to get high draft picks, and now they got it anyway. But here's one thing. I still feel like the trade was good both ways, but I think that New Jersey won. I'm gonna tell you why I think they won. For the obvious reasons. They really did plug the needs that they had. They needed they got a crazy elite defender. And it isn't like one of these 6'3" guy defenders. They got a 6'10" athletic freak, and crazy ball handling skills. Ben's ball handling skills is off the chart. They are not loose like LeBron's. He can really handle the rock like a point guard. And so they clearly won. He can get to the rim at will and finish in that lineup with guys that will spread the floor, command double teams. New, oh man, they've got so much better. And they even got, look, I mean, they got, how do you get Seth Curry in that deal? That is crazy to me. I think that it's almost like, to me, Philly got fleeced. But look, they obviously got better because James Harden is a beast of it in itself, and Ben wasn't playing at all this year. Okay, so they definitely got better by subtraction. But I don't get it. Daryl Moyer, man, he just really wanted Harden bad because he gave up. I mean, I could relate to Drummond and Simmons, but Drummond, Simmons, and Curry, right now he has the best 3-point shooting percentage in the NBA, and he's actually down from a year ago, and he's
talking about
still at
Seth?
40%.
You
Yes,
talking about
Seth. Yes, Seth. He's the top dog. So I'm like, and he's balling, man. I mean, how do you? That is crazy to me. You gave up Seth Curry and Drummond with Ben Simmons. I'm like, what about Seth Curry? I mean, excuse me, what about Drumming and Ben? I don't know how you give up Seth Curry. What about, okay, to me, Drumming, Danny Green, and Ben Simmons would have made more sense.
That's not what they wanted. But and I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
I know,
this.
but that's because they weren't. Look, they would not have Ben if they didn't really want Ben, and Harden wouldn't be gone if they didn't really want to get Harden out, and Harden didn't really want to be there. So what I'm saying is, they screwed up the negotiations because I think that they could have done that deal, but they didn't realize that Jersey wanted to get rid of Harden as much as they wanted to get rid of Ben.
See, and that's the thing. Harden wanted to go more than Jersey wanted to get rid of him. Now,
Yeah, but once he wanted to,
part of the reason
same thing
why,
with Philly.
keep in mind, boy, the sources say that KD didn't want James to go.
Right. None of them wanted James to go.
But the thing of it is this, and I told you guys this. I didn't see that working for one reason when all that come about, and the one reason was, and this was before all the vaccination stuff and everything, was the one thing is Kyrie Irving, and I told you guys he's different. he is different, and somehow I told you can remember, Nate. I don't know if you remember, we had a phone where it was a phone call, you and I said he's gonna bring about some drama. And for some reason, I said I just don't see that working. And you can put a bunch of superstars on one team in basketball, but it's only, you can put 5 superstars out there, and if it's only one basketball. But
so I found, not to cut you off, Gordon, I found the Odell Beckham quote and audio. If you want me to play that when you're done saying what you're saying, I can. Or if you want to look it up on your own, we could do that too.
Oh, I'm good. You can play it now, man.
Okay.
I kind of lost my thought, but I'm good. Yeah, go ahead and play it. That's fine. I'm fine.
Okay.
Is it a video clip, Eric?
Yeah.
Um,
Are you gonna be able to?
Send me the. Is it a YouTube?
It's. I don't know where TMZ pulled it. Oh, it's TMZ pulled it from NFL.com.
I can't use it then. I need something. If I'm going to play it video-wise, I got to have it from YouTube or Facebook. Oh. It has to have a Facebook address on it, or I can't get it.
Oh.
Just go ahead and play it.
Okay.
You have to hit
Let it load for a second. It's loading. It's loading. Or buffering, I should say. But For those of you just tuning in, we're about to play the Odell Beckham responding to Jarvis Landry's visit in on his press conference pre-Super Bowl. Okay.
I ain't got no questions, man.
This is Jarvis. We'll just play the whole thing.
But I want to start by saying, dog, that you deserving of this moment. You deserving of this moment, bro. You put countless hours to, where you are today, and I've witnessed it all firsthand. You have scars to show for where you are today. This is a dream that you will actually turn it into reality. And I wanted to come on here and just let you know that I'm proud of you, bro. That so many people support you every step of the way, bro. Continue to use your light. Continue to be a blessing to others. And lastly, you spoke about tattoos, and it's so ironic because one of my favorite tattoos that you have, you're actually living it. And the tattoo says the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moment of comfort, convenience, but where he stands in the times of challenge and controversy. And you always stand up, brother. You always stand up. I love you. And go get that ring. Go get that ring, dog.
I love you, dog. Give me chills. I know that voice, man. Hey, I just want to say, bro, if it wasn't for you, I really mean this from the bottom of my heart. I know I always say this, bro. But besides Pops, like, there's no man who ever came into my life and has had the effect and impact that you have had to make me a better person, player, man, soon to be father, brother, lover. Like, you've shown me the light, dog. And I love you so much, bro. And this moment is for us, bro. Like, this is everything we ever talked about, dog. So I appreciate you coming on here, bro. You know it's number love.
Oh my God, get a room.
I get it. That was
okay.
a very
You
mature
did say number of
reply.
life. Okay.
I
I
get
feel
it.
better about that now.
Yeah, in the context of the way it's delivered now in its totality, I totally get it, and yeah, that was, to me, that was a heck of a compliment in response to what Jarvis said about him. So that comes from a very mature place. That just shows you, man, this dude's a heck of a guy and a hell of a receiver. Super Bowl receiver, baby.
Very good receiver. Very good receiver.
Super Bowl receiver, baby.
Yes, he is now. Yes, he is now. And I think they're going to
be getting that. We could be having that in Cleveland.
Keep in mind, he's playing with the best receiver in the league in Cooper Kupp.
He was playing with a good receiver in Jarvis.
He playing, yeah, Cooper Kupp. No, but I'm not.
And a better running team.
He's
a better running court.
He's in the position to get to a Super Bowl, and great. And I happen to think that man made one of the best catches in football history. But to put him where you put him is kind of like saying Vince Carter is the greatest player of all times. Vince Carter wasn't. Vince Carter was the greatest
in-game
dunker, in-game dunker that I've ever seen, but far from the greatest player.
Oh no, that's yeah. I hear what you're saying. I can relate to that for Vince Carter, but I mean, but look at it like this: it's unfortunate that the whole Odell Beckham thing got messed up because of people's lack of willingness to forgive him. So while he was growing and maturing, people were still looking at, what he did, how he responded at some point. And they weren't measuring him as he was moving forward. They were measuring based on where he was at in the past. You figured, hold on, let me finish.
He didn't do anything that bad anyway. What did he do that was so bad?
I know, he didn't even do nothing that bad. They traded him because whatever, a little riff, and they got it. They act like he was they act like he was like, TB, But okay, think about this. In Cleveland, Odell Beckham finished out his season, man. He had more, he had cool cap, man. I got that same hat. He had more receptions, man, than the whole receiving corps, man, of Cleveland had over the whole doggone year. He had more than just a few games there, where he is. So, I mean, it just speaks volume. And it's awful that his father had to resort to, putting the video clip out there. It's awful that he had to do it that way. But at the end of the day, man, it's fortunate that he did it because, okay, Odell Beckham's gone. He's in a better position. He's performing, instead of being, oh man, he's done. He can't look. He can't. He won't. He's up there, and he is, and he will, and he has. So it's clearly a better place. And now it's that the saga that was the mess in Cleveland. Now it's been revealed as to what it really is. So it's really good. It's that, we had a quarterback that couldn't take advantage of the situation that he's in. They had a great receiving core.
I gotta disagree
They
with
had
you
a
a
great
little bit
running
here.
game.
Disagree with you there. They had a
You don't
good.
think they had a great
core.
receiving core
They had a good
and a great
receiving
running
core.
game?
They had a good receiving core.
Where I disagree with you,
Oh.
it's a difference between Ford Chrysler or Ford Chrysler and Chevy. That's three different systems. Sure, they all have wheels on them. Sure, they all roll 100 miles an hour if you push them like that. But if you take a Ford part and try to put it in a Chevy, it's not going to work. If you take a Chevy part and try to put it on a Chrysler, 8 times out of 10, it ain't going to work. So I don't think there was an issue with one thing here. I think it was he didn't fit into the system. He really didn't. And that's, do what you got to do. He got put into a better system that agreed with him. Fine. I got no issue with that. Let him go. If he's got to go, he's got to go. But don't sit there and try to blame it on one or two things when it was a whole damn system. And Cleveland has got a system that really needs work.
I mean, okay, I'll be the first one to admit, back when all the stuff with Odell was happening, I was happy they cut him. It was good riddance. Have fun wherever you go. But
I'm still
now,
that
yeah, we have on record of me saying that too. But now, knowing he wasn't the problem, Baker was the problem, and Baker single-handedly tore apart
Baker,
this team.
It was the system, the coaching system, the quarterback system, the wide receiver system. Nothing fit for him, and that's it in a nutshell. And he's going to do better anywhere else he goes. It's not just one thing with the Browns, and this is what everybody keeps trying. I read a lot of the Browns social media stuff on Facebook and wherever. And everybody tries to blame it on Baker. Oh, it's Baker's fault. Oh, it's the coaching fault. Oh, it's not just one flipping fault. That whole team is a wreck.
If you put Kirk Cousins or Jimmy Garoppolo in that same system, they're
going to screw it up too. They're going to screw up too.
They would make the conference championship.
They're going to screw it up.
You throw Joe Burrow in a Cleveland Browns uniform, give him a helmet. They won the Super Bowl this year. I mean, that's how I feel. I hear what you're saying.
Even with the coaching and everything, I don't think so.
But if we're willing to keep the coach, then okay, they're not going to get rid of Stefanski. Okay, and so by that, then the fact that they're not getting rid of Stefanski, then they're saying then that, hey, the coaching is fine. I mean, that's what they're saying. And they believe that, okay, the system is fine. And so that's what they're saying. So if the system is fine, the coach is fine, then, okay, it's the players. But if you look across the board, you got all these talented players, okay. I mean, how are you going to keep on maneuvering your position for the blame? I mean, the fault for a loss has to rest upon someone's shoulders. It's not that, okay.
All right. You want to rest that upon somebody's shoulders? Jimmy Haslam. That's who owns the team.
I mean,
There's
I agree
the fault.
That he should be.
The shit flows from the top.
I think he should be gone, but that's because I think he's a racist. But that's a whole nother story.
The crap flows from the top. It's Jimmy Haslam's fault.
Also, on a side note, what do you guys think about the Brian Flores story? I don't know if you guys talked about it last week. I was at work.
I was going to bring that up as a topic later on.
What was that?
The Brian Flores.
The Brian Flores.
Yeah. That right there. It's almost, you know what? It almost reminds me of Colin Kaepernick at this point, in the sense that the way it's gonna go, and at this point, he's not gonna work in the NFL now after all this.
No.
But I think he realized that going in.
He's done.
At the beginning of this, I thought when I first heard this stuff going on, and especially when Hugh Jackson jumped in and tried to say, "Oh, I was paid to lose,"
He may have been.
Well,
there was that
no,
same. You know
no,
why I believe it? Hold on. I'm gonna let you finish, but let me throw this out there first. Just why I believe it, because I heard that the same situation took place with the Cavs organization in order for them to maneuver to get LeBron. So I heard that same thing. So, but go ahead and finish.
Now, you think about this, Nate. They've been tanking, every 6 or 7 years since 1965, on an average. How many times could this have been happening? How many times could they have been paid to tank by, I don't know, maybe the NFL? Think about this. There's got to be a reason that they're tanking so often, and especially the last 3 or 4 or 5 whatever years when they were 0-31. There's got to be reasons for this.
I mean, there was more than the tanking, though, with the Flores thing. There was alleged cases of them being on a yacht with players from other teams, and Stephen Ross, the owner, being telling Flores to go try to get this player and tamper with him, because it's tampering if you're talking to another team's player under contract.
Yeah.
But allegedly, Stephen Ross was telling him to go do that, even it's against league rules.
I think that this tampering stuff goes way deeper than any coach or whatever.
Well, yeah.
I think it's almost to the point. Think about the last 10 years. What were the main teams that have been there all 10 years? I can name them. Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
I can name Pittsburgh. And I can name New England Patriots. Last 10, 15 years now. Who's been on the top every time, every year? New England, Pittsburgh, Baltimore. I mean, look at this.
Well, you got Seattle 1 year, so.
In the words of a television show that I watch.
Teams every once in a while.
Just
to break the.
In the words of a character in one of the TV shows I watch, NCIS, it's a guy on there by the name of Jethro Gibbs. And he's got a list of his 100 rules. One of them, there is no such thing as a coincidence. What are we supposed to think here? Oh, it's just a coincidence that we tanked 2 years ago, we tanked 3 years ago, we've tanked 8 or 10 times since 1965. Oh, that's all just coincidence. It's just the league. Bull crap.
Well, the thing of it is this, and this is how you get around some of that, is you put in a lottery system. So just because you got the worst record doesn't mean you get the first pick.
Doesn't this take sound familiar, Pat?
And I think that's why the NBA is doing that, isn't it?
That was absolutely. That's why they did it. Because, and in that, the players that you put out there aren't trying to tank, but the way you tank is you put out subpar talent.
Who you put out, right?
Well, I remember several years
on the floor. You create if you do have a great player or two, you say, oh, this player has an injury, or you do things to keep them off the floor. And so you watch these, you put these young cats out there, you have the talent that you're putting out there every night is inferior to what is out there. And so what the outcome is going to be. They're going to get out there and play hard because they're trying to get their time to shine. But and if you, with the NFL, if you put in a some type of lottery system, you know, it's going to, man, that'll be really tougher on the NFL. But and then that means so therefore going forward, you may have to build your team through other, you know, other ways through trades and everything like that. So yeah, because it's I can see it happening. You know,
there's no guarantee that player that's in the lottery is going to pan out either.
true.
Look at Zion Williamson right now. A couple years ago, he hasn't really panned out. Ja
He was
Morant,
injured, and I think he gained like
yeah, I know,
up to like
but in terms
330
of
pounds.
That boy eat 2 million grandmama's biscuits, man.
he's looking like tractor trailer.
He went to the wrong city first and foremost,
Yeah.
man. Dude that can't control his appetite. Man, he down there with all that kind of food they making down there, man.
What you
Like,
say, Nick?
this sucker went to the soul food bayou. I'm like, come on, man. This guy down there eating
look at how it's panning out this year's.
You
this
guys,
year's draft.
you guys ever see
Yeah.
that commercial with Icky Woods on it? There's a
What?
commercial with the Icky Woods from Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, yeah.
Remember him, the Icky Shuffle?
Yeah, Icky Shuffle, yes, sir.
I saw that commercial and I went, is that Woods? Oh my God, he was like 3 times the size of what he was when he played. He must be 350, 400 pounds now. He still does the Icky Shuffle in his commercial. I think it's a Geico commercial or something like that.
I think so. I saw, yeah.
My
one time,
God,
yeah,
what
yeah.
happened to him? I remember when he played. I hated him.
If Flores has proof and documentation that he turned over to the NFL, do you think if there was proof of tanking, like text messages or any documentation, do you think Stephen Ross, the owner, should be removed and get his ownership revoked and forced to sell the team?
Depends on if they find more cases of it anywhere else.
Well,
In that case, they ought to get rid of Goodell, which I'd be completely in favor of.
I think a lot of people would.
there'll be several teams. But, you know, in this,
There's always going to be some sort of corruption within any system
and,
that you
and,
deal with.
and I say this, the NFL, they're going to look at it and it depends on what it's doing for the NFL overall, because they're going to protect and take care of one another if they can. It's you know, that it's a fraternity, you know.
It's that big boys network.
Yeah, it's the Big Boys Network, yeah. And you know, now they will hang out somebody to drive just to save face for the for the NFL overall. But I don't know if they'll do that. You know, they would have to have some. Yeah, it depends on what all that he brings out on that. And you know, it's something that, as we've all said, you know, we kind of suspected. I think Miami was trying it for a while there. Hey, Vegas did it. Vegas did it. They got rid of players. Remember, they shipped Khalil Mack out. I mean, Khalil Mack was the dog, man.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was the defensive dog of the NFL, and they got rid of they got rid of players, and to do what they did. Now they're in Vegas. You know, man, they tanked.
Yeah. I don't think you'll ever get rid of. I don't think it's possible to get rid of tanking. I don't think it's possible to get rid of it. I mean, they're gonna always manipulate the process and tank.
You can manipulate the process, but are you gonna get rid of the paying people off to tank?
Now that right
Because,
there.
no, you know why you can't get rid of it? Look, let me tell you something. By sheer nature of the fact that you get your salary, and you have to yield sometimes. You have to play who they say you have to play. You getting paid to tank. So you know you may not get a bonus check. Hey, it's an extra 50 grand, 100 grand. I need you to lose this game. This, that, no. No, when ownership will step in, and they got the organization set up that, hey man, you got to yield. You get, you know, whatever. You know, hey, we saying we want to see these guys on the field, and you know you got to put them guys on the field to stay in good graces with with everything in order to keep your job, you're gonna put them guys in there that they say you're gonna put in there, and you're gonna whatever. So
Well,
I mean, you can't get rid of tanking.
well, I see what you're saying there, Nate, but where I'm going with your example of giving 50 to 100 grand, get rid of that. Obviously, they're getting paid because they're contractually obligated to pay them, but getting the extra bonuses, are get rid of that. Punish teams for doing that.
Yeah, but
It's almost sounded like when you want to have a boxer flop.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
Now,
You want to take it, yeah. But the thing of it is this, and I agree, they need to get rid of that. But the thing of it is when uh, um, you paying someone now, Nate. The other argument is this: when you got coaches like a Belichick or Jimmy back in the day, because we got those owners that would meddle and tell you do this, do that, or Bill Parcells,
like
those type of dudes that was saying, hey, look, no, yeah, I understand you paying me, but you paying me to do a job, you stay out of my business. And you got some of those cats out there like that to this day. You stay out of my business. I will protect your assets. I'm not gonna blow your money, but I come in here to get wins.
let's
Yeah,
apply
but
something.
hold on one quick. Are losing franchises respecting that position from interviews from individuals they interview? Probably not. The guy that tells them that's probably the guy they send packing and won't hire.
Right. True. Because and that's the reason they don't last long. Well, and it wasn't for like Jerry Jones. It's for him. It's not about tanking with him. It's all about dollars. But in this also, I don't know how true it is. I don't understand all that. But they say, you know, uh, in sports, you really not making money unless you got to be just awfully bad, or at the top, really really good. Those in the middle, they're not making as much money. At the bottom, they get write-offs. There's other incentives they get because, oh yeah, okay, it's designed. We don't want to ever keep a team down forever. We want to build you up. Unlike, well, baseball is a little different, but but so in that, now of course Jerry Jones, he's just making money. He would love to win, but if he doesn't, he's making money. You got to think about this. They are the number one franchise in all sports as far as money making.
When it comes to tanking, you got cases like the Browns with Hugh Jackson where they went 1-31, offered him a contract extension, which nobody knew about till like last year, and then fire him 8 weeks after he signs the extension. So, there's something there to that.
right.
That's a little.
I want to inject something here.
Go ahead.
Let me inject something here. We talk about tanking. We talk about the money that's being exchanged. Where does organized betting fit into all this? Could the sports books be running some of this? I think
I
so.
don't know.
I think so.
It's possible.
Could Vegas be saying, well, we would really like these two teams to win. Take this the last playoff games last week, or 2 weeks ago. The two teams that were supposed to win that, which was
Kansas City and LA.
Kansas City and no, it was Kansas City and Garoppolo and San Francisco. Those two teams were actually favored because I looked them up. All right, I said, what, 3 weeks ago, for when all this was coming down, I said, the best matches that would probably be the most watched game would probably be Cincinnati and the Rams. Lo and behold, all of a sudden, how do we get San Francisco gets beat, and Kansas City gets beat, and I wonder how this all happened. There's so much of this stuff that looks so crooked,
But of course, Pat, someone like me, sometimes they often call me Nostradamus. Of course, I picked those two teams.
I did too.
I mean, I knew that those were the two teams that would be there. So,
Get your watch. Get your watch. We try to save our watch. It's too late for our wallets. It's deep.
No, my head is just getting bigger and bigger.
So so if you want to know, Nostradamus, man, will let you know. But so how do you
Nostradamus.
You should put that down in your name there now.
Yeah, we should change your name to Nostradamus.
I think that Vegas really cleans up on the spread. They kind of.
I think they're a lot more involved than anybody believes or anybody realizes.
And that's possible too, because that's highly possible. Anytime you get in this whole concept of gambling and betting, I don't believe that it's ever just straight up honest. The type of betting that like we do, hey, have a gentleman's bet, man, who going this, that, and that. I don't think it's like that. I agree with you, Pat. I think it's a lot deeper than that. And I think it's a lot of, even when you look at the officiating, you're like, man, come on, man, it's like, how could you not see that call, and everybody, well, the officials, the game is so fast, and, they can't, like, come on, man. And then you look at it on replay, and you still know the call is different than what the call on the field stands. Like, I can see that on the replay, but you can't see that. Oh, it's too close to overturn. It has to be clear and concise evidence. I'm like, dude, I can see that. You freeze the frame, you can see, and so, yeah, I think
my grandmother could have seen that, and she's been dead for 30 years.
Yeah, so clearly I think that there's manipulation.
Well, my thing is this.
Are you referring to a certain interception there, Nate?
Oh, that didn't sit well with Nate. That didn't sit well.
Yeah, the Tennessee.
Sometimes the great Nostradamus would be totally biased in his how can I say this? His opinion, right? A wise one. You would be totally.
All right,
let's maybe a little itsy bit biased sometimes, but I don't know. Maybe it just seems like, and maybe these guys are all just, they have this innate ability within them to be totally unbiased when they come in and ref a game. They have no favorites. These are guys that just happen to be referees. They don't even necessarily love the game, or they love it at a level that's objectively far beyond the rest of what us normal people can accomplish.
Us being normal?
Extraordinary. Yeah, these extraordinarily objective, positions. I'm like, come on, man. These guys, man, come in there. They have their favorites, and sometimes I think they ref based on their biases.
You know what? Now I'm gonna say this, and I think sometimes a ref can have a beef with a particular player, and they talked about. Matter of fact, I saw a deal on AI years ago, and they talked about how there's some referees that, of course, he was always, which he didn't help himself in that a lot of times, but a lot of what AI would do is, this, and what he represented and so there were certain calls that sometimes he wouldn't get, um, and you know, or they call things against him, you know. And then there's Joey Crawford and Tim Duncan. It was a known fact that him and Joey Crawford they didn't get along. What was it? Adam Jones, Pac-Man, as they call him, and they didn't like him so bad. I saw a guy grab his face mask sideline, man, almost twist his head off, and the referee ignored it like he didn't see it. Like, nah, I didn't see it. And then, of course, the most egregious non-call in NFL playoff history, the whole New Orleans game that year when the guy did what he did. Of course, he retired after that, but man. So yeah, I don't know if it's per se necessarily a team, but sometimes yeah, there may be some biasness. That Pittsburgh game this past season, oh boy, he hip checked that player, man, threw the flag on him. Come on, man. It was things all kind of wrong with that.
You know what? I know why he did it, Gordon.
Why was that, Pat? Tell us.
That's why.
I see that not as fitting there, but okay.
We need a Raven song like that. Beat more sucks. Beat more sucks. Man,
but really, you know what? Nobody really even cares about the Ratbirds. They're not relevant. You know, that's not a team people talk about. You know, sometimes people will ask me, and I say, "Who? Is a football team up there?"
Trying to see if there's a song out there.
While you doing that, comment. So we talked about, you know, looking at this crazy trade, the biggest and the most wild trades going on in the NBA that we've seen. And here's what's so sad. The Los Angeles Fakers, they sit out there, and what is wrong with their ownership? How can you be this? I mean, what an iconic franchise. Los Angeles, Boston. Los Angeles sits out there, all eyes on Los Angeles. And you have managed the team in such a horrific manner that you cannot make a single move.
I don't know, man. I guess nobody wanted Rose, man. Hey, speaking of that, you saw Maverick got rid of KP.
Yeah.
Where I didn't pay that one no attention. I didn't know that.
He's going. It was to the Wizards actually for Bertans and
Spencer Dinwiddie. And,
wow.
But you know what? Dinwiddie hadn't really been much since he left there. And then, of course, I don't know what the whole deal was with Buddy Hield. You know, their trade, I'll put it like this. They wanted, more so than anything, is what I think is they really wanted to get rid of that contract with Kristaps because, you know, someone said, yeah, he's a unicorn because you never see him out there. You hardly ever see him play. And what was that one game here? He hit about 7 threes, and he was, you know, but he's not. They said, well, the one thing is what experts say is there's no rim protection now with Dallas. And you think about what Dallas did, they set a record. They were the most efficient offensive team in history, and they got rid of Seth Curry, and they brought in some players. They're trying to get better defensively. Of course, it didn't work. Now without Kristaps, which I'm glad they were able to get rid of that deal because it didn't fit. But
they could have traded him for Russell Westbrook.
No, that was the thing. They didn't want Russ. They didn't want Russ, and I don't think the Lakers wanted Kristaps.
They crazy. The Lakers should look. The Lakers need to go down to the local rec center in any city. You know, they don't need to go to Rutgers Park and try to get some legendary ball player. They just go to any rec center, randomly choose one, randomly choose a city, take any 5 and trade them for 5 jokers down there. And they would be better off. I don't care what 5. All of them are bums. Man, that team is horrific. They're all bums. They're old men or bums.
What do you guys think of the Karis LeVert trade to Cleveland?
I love him.
Yeah, that was a good trade.
Cleveland is balling.
Number 2 in the East right now. Only a game out of first place in the East.
And nobody thought they.
Right now, they got the 6th Man of the Year award possibly going to Kevin Love, the Rookie of the Year, Mobley.
Kevin is
maybe the Defensive Player of the Year in Allen.
Allen is balling.
And then GM of the Year.
Yes, done a great job. You know, my problem with Mobley, man, they need to solicit the service of Akeem Dream or somebody. They need to get somebody in there work with him. I see a lot of talent, but I'm telling you, man, when I see him, man, all I see is a feather. Man, I'm wondering if he ain't a duck. Man, that dude's so soft and fluffy, man. I mean, he's soft. He's soft. He's fluffy. Forget it, man. He's soft. I mean, I like him. I like his potential. I'm like, man, grow a set, dude. I mean, he's a little soft to me. So, but I like his potential. You know what, Shawn, you shared something a few weeks ago. You said there was a comparison of him and Chris Bosh, and I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
Chris was fluffy too.
Yeah, there's a lot of comparison between him and the other one was KG, but
no, KG wasn't. KG not, man. You can't. I don't think he sleep on a pillow. That dude probably sleep on hot coal bricks or something. He not soft at all. But doggone, he's got. You know what? And KG would be a great person to work with him, man.
Yeah,
he's too soft.
Similar size.
He's got some great talent, just a little soft.
But yeah, but you know, Allen got snubbed out of the All-Star game. I thought because the next day, the weird thing about it is the next day after he got snubbed, he came out and had that 29 point, 22 rebound game.
Yeah, he's balling, man. The Fro is balling, man.
But Garland, man, that's the baller right now.
And that's what's shocking is Garland, you know. And look, Rondo is balling. They got rid of your boy. They got rid of Rubio. They like, what do we need Rubio for? With the way Rondo can ball and the way Garland is balling. So now so what's going to happen when they bring back your boy? They're going to really have some tremendous depth because I think he shoots better personally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, young bull.
Yeah, Sexton.
Yeah, Sexton.
Okay.
All right.
I think you bring Sexton off the bench as your 6th man next year.
Because it's hard to mess up what you got going. Yeah.
We got about.
Let me ask you guys a question. Is this just another Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah.
We're gonna see a great year, and then all of a sudden they're gonna almost fall off the radar.
I don't know.
It's clearly possible because you're going to have Philadelphia is going to have a better rhythm next year. We already see that coming. Assuming now that KD won't fake hurt and Kyrie, you know, who knows what he'll do in this flat earth. You know, this guy lives his flat earth philosophy guy. We don't know what he might do. But at any rate, they put some stuff in the cover there still. You know, they got Seth there and they have you know, the other guy that I forgot his name. Patty Mills there. So I think that, and then, you know, they got some bigs there. Plus the young bigs are going to still grow and mature. And they got some toughness. So I think next year they're going to be more in the mix. You know, they're not going to be falling off like that.
The thing, and I don't know if you heard me when I was trying to say this or if my mic went out. The NBA, when you were talking about Mowgli, Nate, the NBA, in comparison to what they used to be, they're all soft. Like, they are all soft. They're not what they used to be with physicality. So I personally think that even having Mowgli work with somebody, it's going to do nothing because the whole NBA, across the NBA, you might have one or two super physical guys, but you're not going to get the very physical 7-footers anymore.
I don't think he needs to be like a Shaq or you.
Yeah.
I think he needs to be like if he was like Kevin Love or if he was like or Jared Allen. He's not at their level from a physical perspective. K Love is man. K Love balling. He nice.
Most
Jared
rookies aren't
Allen,
though.
you- yeah, but there's a lot of them that are. I mean, he's just extraordinarily. I mean, he's fluffy to me. I'm like, dude, come on, man.
What
I mean,
what you guys are missing in that though is this: these guys, most of them or more of them are more skilled now. Where they you say they're soft, but they're more skilled in
When you say K Love is,
play.
when you say
Skill
K
level's
Love,
higher.
when you say K Love skill level is high,
Yeah, yeah,
They
yeah,
extremely.
expect a
yeah.
lot more out of 7-footers now. They don't want the rim protector guy. They want a 7-footer who can go shoot beyond the arc.
Well, look what
When
they
you
were saying
say
KP. KP
okay,
is like what 7'2", 7'3",
I,
Hmm.
yeah,
and
7'4", whatever he is, he's huge.
and he's you know he's shooting, man.
He's fluffy too. But I think that Mobley's more fluffy. I'm looking at the way how soft when he attacks the basket, it's like they blow on him, and you know, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I'm not looking at him to be like Giannis. Okay, I'm not saying that.
No.
I'm not saying for him to be like Giannis. I'm just saying, I think he's working with I think he has on his team good examples. I think Kevin Love is an outstanding example because K Love, even though K Love is a 7 foot, we consider him a 7 footer. He's that 6'10" guy, we round him out 7 foot. Okay. Extremely high skill level, uh, extraordinary rebounder. You know, he's got the right amount of physicality. That's the reason why he's able to rebound like that. And he's got a perfect mix of skill set. You know what I'm saying? You got to respect him from the outside.
And,
You're crazy if you don't.
and see,
And
that's
so
the thing.
that's what I'm talking about. I just want Mobley to look at what he's got and learn how to be a little tougher, man. I mean, I just need him to be a little tougher. That's all. He's a rookie, like say, young player. We give him some time and see what he looks like.
All right, we need to wrap this. I got one more question I want everybody to answer before we give this a wrap. That is, what are your picks for the Super Bowl? We'll go one by one. Who wants to start?
I'll go
Tennessee.
first, and I am taking the Rams. And reason being, I'm gonna give y'all my reason being. I just think they're a more complete team. They have more, or shall I say, Cincinnati has more holes in their game than the Rams did. You're gonna see some defense. You guys, a lot of times everybody gets so caught up in a play at the end of the game where the quarterback pulls it out, and that's great. But watch the defense.
All
Watch to
right,
see how well they run the ball.
Sean, next.
No Rams.
Why?
Any reason why?
Just defense.
Defense.
All right, next up is Nate. Go ahead.
Yeah, unfortunately, I
Next to
got to go with
Thomas.
I got to go with the Rams because I think that
ODB.
Joe Burrow is I think that he's the quarterback extraordinaire for this series for this matchup, and I think Chase is a baller true, but they don't have enough. And I look at the Rams; they have too many options on the offensive end. But here's the thing: in all of what the Rams have, the unfortunate thing is Stafford takes He takes more chances than need to be. And so therefore this game will be a lot closer than people's anticipating. And though I'm going with the Rams, I will say this. I would not be surprised if Cincy won the game. Not because Cincy has the better team. As you stated, we know the Rams have more weapons. They have a more complete team. But it's the fact that I think Joe Burrow is far beyond his years in terms of a quarterback. He's a rookie for all intents and purposes because last year he got hurt. But for some reason, this dude, man, he is different. And so the game is they're going to be there, and there's no quit in this team. So it's not going to be a blowout. But I'm going with the Rams.
All right, Eric.
Cincy, and reason being their run game. I totally believe that their run game, they're going to establish the run game, and this Rams defense is more of a pass, a good pass defense. If they can, they're smaller, or wait, I forget. I think smaller and faster is what I heard an analyst say on ESPN actually right before the show. And usually that helps more in the pass game for pass rush. But since he can establish the running game and mix in the pass just a little bit, since he's going to win this.
All right, I guess it's down to me then. My pick, where in my heart I would love to see Cincinnati win. It's an Ohio team. I don't know what the heck. Who wouldn't want that from Ohio? But the simple fact of it is, I think the defense is what's going to win this game. And I think that because of that statement, Cincinnati's going to have real problems with keeping Burrow standing up. I think that this is going to be a complete rush game. There's going to be, they're going to probably blitz 6 or 7 times out of 10. They're going to send the house at him. Most quarterbacks, even when you go to Kansas City with Mahomes gets happy feet when he runs, or when they start sending the house like that. You got to consider this is the best 2 teams in the league supposedly, and they're going to do what they got to do to win. So I think I agree with Nate. I think it's going to be a close game. I'd say 3 points. We'll see what happens. But in my heart, I have to go with that West Coast defense, and I think.
But in what you said about them slowing down the pass game, and getting the Burrow a lot, what Cincy should do to defend that is the screen game. Utilize the screen game, slow down the pass rush, and then open up the passes downfield.
I don't know. I just know what I'm feeling, and that's the way I think it's going to turn out. So I'll take the Rams by 3. Anyway,
so we're going to stamp Pat's comment with hashtag OBJ difference maker.
Yeah, right. I always thought you were my friend there, Mr. Nate. Notice how I said "were." Anyway, we'll go ahead and wrap this up for today. We're not going to do a radioactive tomorrow night because I want to watch the Super Bowl. So we'll be back here next week. Next up, show-wise, will be Tuesday night, 7 to 8, which is the World According to Elmer, and that's getting pretty good acclaimed. The other thing I did want to mention is this show is returning, as well as all the other programs that we run here on Crooked River. They're returning to Spreaker. So if you are a podcast listener, look us up there. We are on Spreaker, and it is distributed to all your major podcast distributors. We're on Amazon, a lot of the other ones. I can't think of them all. There's like 20 of them that we get distributed to every week. So
which Amazon or Spreaker, I don't know who, they need to check out.
I'm going to look
some
into
of the
that. I know
audio.
what you're talking about. I don't want to discuss it here. We will catch everybody next week. Eric, thanks for joining us, and
Thanks for having me.
see y'all next week.
Yep.
Okay.
Later.
Later.
It's out.
This has been a Crooked River Media production.